Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Dave's Top 3000 Songs of the Rock Era. Today I'm up to song number 2470, and that one is Daisy Jane by America. This came out in 1975. Here's a picture of the single, and went to number 20, I think, was a huge hit for them. But it was also released on their 1975 album called um, Hearts. And here's a picture of America around the time they recorded it. Pretty big band. I'll get into them in a minute. First, I'm going to feature a sample of this song, Daisy Jane, and react to it. So here it goes.
Flying me back to Memphis. Gotta find my Daisy Jane. Well, the summer's gone, and I hope she's feeling the same. Well, I left her just to roam the city, thinking it would ease the pain. I'm a crazy man, and I'm playing my crazy game. Does she really love me? I think she does. Like the stars above me, I know because when the sky is bright, everything's alright.
Okay, that's a little sample of Daisy Jane by America. And you can tell it's a ballad, and it's a pretty ballad, and it's got a hopeful message. He's saying, I guess, this woman Daisy Jane, he's very confident that she's still in love with him. They've been apart for a while, but he's going back to her and he's kind of excited about rekindling the relationship. I think it's a pretty song, and they had a lot of pretty songs, and they were kind of a soft rock trio. Now I'm gonna get into the band America. So yeah, so they were formed in 1970. It's kind of funny. They were actually formed in London, England, even though their name was America. But they were all sons of members of the U.S. Air Force, and that's how they met. They were, I guess, stationed in London along with their parents. Their parents were Air Force personnel, and they got together, decided to form a rock band in 1970, rock trio anyway. The original members were Dewey Bunnell, Jerry Beckley, and Dan Peake. I believe Dan Peake is no longer with them. I think he died, but the other two members are still together. They're still together as a band. And I'm just going to go through their hits. Their first hit was in 1972. It was also the first number one, probably their most well known song. It was called A Horse with No Name, kind of a cryptic title, but it's a very poetic song. I really like it. Coming up much, much higher. I won't say how high. And then followed that up with I Need You, which went to number nine, and Ventura Highway, which went to number eight. In 1973, they had a song called Don't Cross the River, which went to 35. Only Your Heart, which went to 62. And then they had a pretty awful song called Muskrat Love, which went to 67. I've heard America's version. It's pretty bad, but it's not as bad as Captain Tennille's cover from 1976. That one did not make my list. Neither did America's version. Thankfully, I hate those songs. I just think they're really repulsive. Uh, but anyway, enough of that. In 1974, they had a song called Tin Man, which went to number four, and they followed that up with Lonely People, which went to number five. In 1975, they had their second and final number one, which was called Sister Golden Hair. And then they followed that up with a song I'm featuring today, Daisy Jane, which went to number 20, and Woman Tonight, which went to 44. In 1976, they had a song called Today's the Day, which went to 23, and what was that? Amber Cascades, which went to 75. In 1979, they had a cover of a very famous song originally done by the Mamas and the Papas called California Dreamin'. I believe Mamas and Papas version went top 10, but America's version only went to number 56. And I remember that was featured in an okay movie that came out the same year called California Dreamin', and kind of a nostalgia movie about the surfing craze in the early 60s. It was okay, a little cheesy. But I remember I watched the movie when it came out, and I remember America's version of the song, which wasn't bad. And they followed that up with All Around, which went to number 93. And then in 1982, they had kind of a revival hit called You Can Do Magic, which went to number 8. That was the first top 10, I think, 7 years. Pretty great song, I'd say. That one's coming up on my list, as are many other the ones I already mentioned. After that, later in '82, they had a song called "Right Before Your Eyes," which went to 45. Finally, in 1983, they had a song called "The Border," which went to number 33. So those were the hits for America. A pretty good soft rock band, I'd say. Uh, yeah. Anyway, that concludes my feature on Daisy Jane by America. Thank you for watching. You guys rock, and I'll see you next time.